Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Stamping Fun with Donna. Today we're going to be doing a one card 3 ways using the Ornate Thanks stamp set out of the annual catalog. Now, today is January 5th, 2021, and so everybody needs a lot of thank you cards. The holidays are just over, and everybody needs thank you cards. We're going to be using, as I said, the Ornate Thanks stamp set, which is a great thank you stamp set. It has so many interesting little things to add on to your thank you. So grateful and thanks. So I wasn't sure how to thank you. I'm so grateful for all you do. You're amazing. There are all sorts of add-ons that you can add on to your thank yous. So that's what we're going to be doing today. It comes with an absolutely beautiful die set. So we're going to be using some of the dies as well. So let's head over to the stamping table and I'll show you the cards we're going to be using or making today. So here are the 3 cards. Now, what I like to do with one card 3 ways is to do the same basic layout, but to make it 3 different ways. First, if you need something simple, don't have a lot of experience, a lot of time, or a lot of supplies, you can do a simple card like this. If you want to make it a little bit more stepped up, as we like to call it, you can add some extra to it here. And then if you really want to go all out, you can go all out and use the dies as well and an embossing folder. Now, as you'll notice, these are all slightly different. And the reason that they're slightly different is that for these 2, I use the Artistry Blooms Designer Series paper. Now, the Artistry Blooms Designer Series paper comes in all different colors, and it's an absolutely beautiful packet. You get a lot of paper with it. So I wanted to see what it would look like with the green, and I wanted to see what it would look like with the purple, more purple colors. So I did it both ways. So that's why these look a little different. And then this one doesn't use Designer Series paper at all. You actually make this. So let's go ahead and get started stamping. We are going to first make the simplest card. So I have pre-cut everything, so you don't have to watch me cut paper, which is really boring. But I will have all the sizes and all the dimensions on my website. So it's going to be linked below, but it's stampingfunwithdonna.com. Everything will be linked there, so you'll be able to see it. Definitely go there and take a look. And if you like this video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up, a like on this video, because it really helps me out a lot. I'm trying to grow my channel and it would make a big difference. So here we have the card base made out of white. And the next piece we need to make is this background piece. Now this background piece I actually made, and it's simple to make. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It just requires 3 different color inks, which right here I have Mary Merlot, Rich Razzleberry, and Blushing Bride, and sponges. These sponges come in a package. You cut them, I think there's 3 in a package. You cut them into quarters, so you end up with 12 different sponges. When you're done with the color, you just run this under the water and it just cleans it off. So what we're going to do is just run it over the pad like this, and we have this here. Now you always want to start off and come onto the paper and just do little circles, and then do a little bit more, and you can do as much or as little of each color as you want. It's your project. You can make it whatever you want, and I like to make it a little bit lighter towards the next color, which is going to be lighter anyway. So now I'm going to take some of the Rich Razzleberry, get it onto the sponge, and I'm going to go ahead and circle it here. Now you'll notice that it gets darker around the edge. I really like that. I think it makes it look a lot better. But if you don't like that, just cut the edge off and then just circle it on. And again, you want to get it as much or as little as you want, a little bit lighter towards here. And I do like to go over the previous color so that it blends a little bit better. Now I'm going to take the 3rd color, Blushing Bride, get it on the sponge, and we're going to go ahead and get it over here, just like this. And again, let me get some more on here because it's a lighter color, needs a little bit more. Again, the edges are going to be a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, which I like. I actually will sometimes go back and add darker edges if I don't think it's dark enough. And then you just want it to get over on the other color that's right next to it, and then off the edge a little bit lighter. So that's how you make that background. It's absolutely beautiful, and it takes very little time. I think that took like a minute. And I was talking. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and glue this onto our base. So we're going to use the Tombow liquid glue for this. Just put it all over. Make sure it doesn't get over the edge though. And go ahead and just stick it onto our base, like so. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, now we're going to take the thank you stamp. Now, what I did for this thank you stamp is I wanted to do thank you from the bottom of my heart, like it says here, and I put them on the same block. So what I did is I lined up from the bottom of my heart on my grid paper, and then I just put the thank you right above there, and I put the block on top of them so that they would both get picked up at the same time, and then they would be exactly where I wanted them to be, and even with each other. So now I'm going to go ahead and take the rich raspberry ink. I'm dropping the sponges where you can't see it off the side. Oh well, hopefully I won't need them again. I won't need them again. And I'm going to go ahead and get this one inked up. There we go. With thanks for all you do in the rich raspberry, or thank you from the bottom of my heart. I had it wrong. Thank you from the bottom of my heart in the rich raspberry. And I'm just going to just get that off there. Okay. And center it in the middle of my paper, like so. Press down, and there we go. Now, that one didn't ink up perfectly well, so what I think I'm going to do is to go ahead and do it a second time, because every piece of paper has two sides to it, right? I don't like the way the from came out. The rest of it was lovely, but that from is a little bit light. Let me go ahead and turn this over and try again. Get it inked up. I think I'm going to move it a little bit to the right, which is a little bit different from what I first said, because I have the ribbon on the left. And then I'm going to rub that with my fingers, make sure it gets there, and that's much better. I like that a lot better. So now I'm just going to take this, turn it over, and put a little glue dot there. Now, I know you've heard me say this before. Glue dots are awesome. I used to not use them, and now I think, why did I ever not use them? Because when you have anything that's small project, it's so easy. You just press the glue dot down, pick this up, press the glue dot down, pick this up, and it's there. There you've got it. So we are going to go ahead, and this ribbon, by the way, is from the January to June 2021 catalog, mini catalog, and it's a Blushing Bride metallic, and it's absolutely beautiful. So let's go ahead and get that there. Beautiful. And now what I'm going to do is go ahead and tie this. What I am going to do, though, actually, is to go ahead and put another glue dot down, put a couple more glue dots down to make sure that it all stays. So I'm going to put one right there so that then when I tie this, like so, I can press right down, press that right down there, and then I'm going to, let me see if I can't get this angled a little better. There we go, that's better. And then what I'm going to do is, just to make sure everything stays nice and neatly, is I'm gonna tear this off so I can find these easier. Put one right here. I mean, they're really inexpensive and they do a great job, so why not use a lot of them? Get this one straight there, and then put one, well, I guess that's low enough. We don't really need one right there. There isn't really room. Well, we can probably put it right here, like so. There we go. Okay, and now we have the thank you. Okay, so here is our rich raspberry, and we're going to go ahead and just go ahead and put the liquid glue on the back of the rich raspberry, like so, and take the thank you from the bottom of my heart and put it right on there. Now, when you put the glue on, don't forget the white part is going to be smaller, so you don't want to go out to all the edges. You want to make it so that it will be hidden by the white part. Let me get this right into place. There we go. Beautiful. And this little glue dot is sticking out just a tad, but I can move it with my fingernail very easily. So get that back under there, scooch under there. And now we're going to be using stamping dimensionals so that we can pop this up, because if you know me, you know that I need to have dimensionals on every single card. I don't think I ever make a card without dimensionals, but it makes so much more of a pop, and it makes a card so much more layered and so much more interesting. And I figured out that these cost they cost a penny and a quarter of a penny for each one. So why not use them? They're very economical and really cute. And then we go ahead and just put this right here in the center. And there is our first card. It was very beautiful, very easy to make, and it really just required SIP, what we call SIP, stamps, ink, and paper, and then just, of course, adhesive. And I added a little ribbon just for fun. But that's all that one required. Now we need to go on to the second card. So here is our second card, which I have a little bit more stamped up. And what I've used for the second and the third card, as I mentioned, was the Artistry Blooms designer series paper, which I cut it a different piece. So you can see here, this one is a little bit more pale pink, like a plum up here, and then darker, pale purple, like a plum color, and then a darker here. This one has a little blue on it. I think it's from the same page, but it's just cut differently. I'm not 100% sure though, but there's a whole bunch of different things. I mean, there's the other side. You can use whichever side you want. It's really a fun pack of paper, and I think it's so pretty. So let's go ahead and adhere this to the Rich Razzleberry cardstock, like so, and turn it over and adhere it right here. Beautiful. And again, these sizes will be on my website, so don't worry that I'm not telling you about them now, because I don't want you to have to be thinking about writing them down. I want you to be able to go to them later, and the link will be below here, and it will be at stampingfunwithdonna.com, which of course is where all the great things is: my contact, my classes, my schedule, my specials, all sorts of information about what's upcoming. So it's really great. Now, what this is here is from the Forever Gold Specialty Paper. Forever Gold Specialty Paper is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous set of papers. This actually is from the suite from Forever Greenery, but you can use it with anything. I bought this in June. It's going to last me all year. It's a little bit more expensive because it's this gold specialty paper, but it's really inexpensive if you think about how little you use at a time. I mean, you use one of these pieces, and there's so many pieces per page. And like I said, it's going to last me all year. So I have this one. I used this one here. I'm going to use this one today. You can also, I was thinking of turning it over and using the white, but my husband liked the gold, so I think we'll stick with the gold, but you can also just use this with the white. Now there's obviously really teeny little parts here that it's really hard to glue without getting the glue everywhere. So I'm going to use my silicone sheet. So here's my silicone sheet. And the reason I use this is because glue doesn't stick to it. I mean, I glued earlier. All you do is you take your finger and you run it like this, and all the glue comes out. So it doesn't matter if you get glue on it, and nothing will stick to it. So what I'm going to do is take this, and I'm just going to put it on the back here. Now I can do this as long as I don't move the gold until I'm ready to take it off. Because if I do move it now, what's going to happen is that it's going to get on the front, and I don't want it to get on the front. Now what I want here is a little scrap of paper, which I don't really have a little scrap. Aha! I'll use what I tore off of the glue dots. And I'm just moving it around a little bit. I'm not worrying if it's getting in between, like I said, because it's on the silicone sheet. Nothing's going to happen as long as I don't move this until I'm ready to pick it up. And now I'm going to pick it straight up. And this is going to just dry, and I will just rub it off as I showed you a second ago. But now I've got the glue on this, and I can take my card and put this directly on top, like so, and it's all perfect. And there's no glue on the top, so we're all good. Now I'm going to take my thank you, which I'm going to go ahead and stamp again with the rich raspberry. And let's go ahead and get this nice and inked up. Great. And I'm going to stamp this one more in the middle because I'm not putting the ribbon on. So put it here, make sure I press to make sure I get a nice good impression. Hold it down, pick it up, and it's beautiful again. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this. Put this, I'm not sure you can see it. It was a little off camera, I think. I don't actually see what's on the camera that's facing my desk while I'm doing this. So I'm going a little bit blind, and I'm hoping that everything is properly in camera. There we go. Get that right in the middle there. Beautiful. Now we just need the base that we just made and to add some stamping dimensionals, of course. So let's get this all popped up like so. Great, and two more. Great. And we will put this right here in the middle. And now I'm going to add some of these pearls. So I'm going to use my take your pick tool to get the pearls because it just makes it so much easier. All right, so let's go ahead and take one of these pearls, put it here, take one of these pearls, put it here. I'm sure you've heard people, including me before, say things are more pleasing to our eye in odds. So I put 3 on there, which will be great. And there's the second card all done. So there's 2. Now let's go on to the third card. Now the third card, as I mentioned, I originally did here in green, but I am keeping up with our pink and purple theme today and doing it now in the pink and purple. And again, I've got everything cut out for us here. So I'm going to take the piece of, so you can see here, one side is green, the other side is the pink and purple. Let's go ahead and get some ink on here. Gorgeous. And turn this over and put it right here. Lovely. Okay, now I have this piece here. Now this piece here is the one piece that is going to take a little bit of time. So I'm going to set it aside just for a second. Oh, you know what I just realized? I was going to put this on rich raspberry and then the rich raspberry on there. I was wondering why it looked a little bit small for the area to me. Okay, so we put that on rich raspberry and now we're going to put this onto the white. There we go. One of the great things about the liquid glue is that you can do that. If I had used the snail, I could not have moved it like that, but I can move it off of there within seconds because it was done with the liquid glue. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and stamp this with the thank you from the bottom of my heart. I need to get these thank yous out. So this will be very helpful to me. And we'll do this one in the middle. Again, press down, press all around. Make sure it gets a really good impression everywhere. Hold with your finger, pull up, and it's beautiful. We're going to take a piece of rich raspberry and just stick this on. Just because every layer adds that much more pizzazz. You don't have to add as many layers as I do. I mean, if you don't want them, don't add them. You do you. It's your card. But I think it just adds that much more pizzazz. And now we're going to take, again, take your pick tool with the putty attachment, which just, the putty attachment just sort of sticks to stuff. So it just makes it so much easier to do that. And set this aside because this is the one thing that is a little bit more complicated than the others. So what we are going to do, let me move this stuff out of the way. What we are going to do is to use our Big Boss. I told you last time the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is too much of a mouthful, and now we have a large one and a mini one. I'm just going to call this the Big Boss, and I'll call the mini one the Baby Boss. So there we go. So to do this, let me pull this back for just a second. You can see there's both a die cut and there's an embossing folder. And when you do them both, you always want to do the die cut first, because if you use the embossing folder and then the die cut, you're going to smush down the embossing folder. So you need to do the die cut first and the embossing folder second. So the die cut is, we need plate number 1, plate number 2, one of the plate numbers 3s, and the die. Okay, so here's the die cut, and then we need the piece of paper. Here we go. So we'll put the piece of paper here, and we're going to put the die cut along the bottom. Now this die cut, you can see, cuts out flowers and other stuff. You want to make sure when you place it that the flower's not hanging off the edge, right? You don't want to have the flower hanging off the edge. And it's going to cut it along the bottom like that. So I need the second piece, number 3. Place it very gently, and I have the handle on the other side. Let me turn this around. There we go. Okay, and just run this through the machine. There we go. Okay, now let me show you this. When you take this off, this is going to be die cut here. You need to be careful with this one because this is a little delicate. It's just hanging on a little bit. So you just need to be careful when you take it off, like so, that you don't pull it off too much. Let me see if I can't turn it over and see what I'm doing, because that might make it easier. I'm actually going to use my take your pick tool and use these ejection holes. It'll make it much easier, much more sturdy, and it should just peel right off. Without breaking anything. So let's see if we can get this off. Where is it hanging on? There we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we've got this beautiful, beautiful die cut, and it was so easy to do. Now what I'm going to do is bring the big box back. This time I'll put it on here in the right direction. And I'm going to grab my embossing folder, which I have here. So the embossing folder, because it's a 3D, needs plate number 1, the embossing folder, and plate number 4, and that's all it needs. And like I've said before, you don't need to remember these. You don't even need to be able to read. All you need to do is to look at the photos that are here, and it'll tell you exactly what you need. Okay, now you put the logo up, this side towards the hinge. You take plate number 4, and you run it through, like so. And put the big boss back down. And this is what you have when you bring it out. You have this gorgeous textured piece. I love the Tasteful Textiles, I think it is, or Tasteful Texture, something like that, embossing folder, because it adds just a little bit of oomph to it without making it too much on anything, but you can add it to everything. So for this one, I'm going to add the glue on the top, but I'm going to leave the bottom unglued. It's not going to make a difference when it gets on the card, but this way we're not going to run the risk of doing anything bad. So let's go ahead and put this on here, like so. Beautiful. Let me move these plates back down and move this back down. And we have the thank you from the bottom of my heart ready to go, and just stick on these Stampin' Dimensionals. And take these off. Great. And now we're going to go ahead and place this right here. And I have this beautiful, beautiful card. Now right here it seems to be coming up just a little bit. Let me see if I can't glue just a teeny drop of glue. If you have a fine tip glue pen, that would work really well as well. That's all you need. If you find it's coming up, maybe I'll put just a little bit here too. I didn't put any on the last one I did, on the one I made as the sample, but I will go ahead and just put a little bit right there. You just don't want it to come out, right? You don't want it to be on the front. There we go. That was just a little piece of extra stuff. So there we go. So here are the cards that we made today. This is the original in the green. You can decide if you like the green or if you like the purple. I kind of like the purple, but either way would work. Here is the second one, and here is the third one. That no, these are both second ones. Here's the first one that we did that was just using SIP and a little bit of ribbon. Here's the second one where we added the Forever Gold specialty paper and the pearls, and then here's the third one where we die cut and added texture. I really like them all. It's funny, my husband told me he liked this one the best. It's the one I like, I think, probably the least, although I think they're all beautiful. But I really like sponging like that into a sort of ombre look, and I love, love, love the texture and the die cut. So I'd be curious to know which one you like the best. Leave a comment below and let me know. As I said, please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe to my channel because you don't want to miss any of my content. And you can even ring the notifications if you wanted the bell, if you want to get notified when I have something that's uploaded. Visit my website at stampingfunwithdonna.com, and you'll find all the directions there, as well as all of my classes and all of my specials, things that are coming up both with Stampin' Up! And with me. Thanks so much for spending some time with me. Have a great day. Bye.